March 25, 1915, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. On the 7th floor of the Bellevue, Stratford Hotel, snow dissolves into cold spring rain. The air inside the luxury suite is stale with expensive tobacco. But beneath it lingers something sharper, the metallic hint of an ending. On a wide mahogany bed lies a woman. Her skin has taken on the waxen pallor physicians call facies Hippocratica. The face that signals death is near. This is Catherine, Kitty, Sweeney Hershey. She is 42 years old, the wife of one of the richest men in America. Beside her, seated rigidly on a hard chair, is Milton Snavely Hershey. His name is already synonymous with sweetness, success, and industry. His fortune is estimated at $60 million, more than $1 billion in today's money. But at this moment, wealth is meaningless. The only sound in the room is Kitty's uneven breathing. In the corner, doctors exchange silent glances. The illness they politely call nervous exhaustion, or ataxia, is, in truth, a progressive degeneration of the central nervous system. Early 20th century medicine is helpless. Milton Hershey, who built a city from farmland, who turned rivers of milk into chocolate, who bent entire industries to his will, can do nothing but watch the only person he ever loved slip away. Kitty opens her eyes. Her voice is barely a whisper. She asks for a glass of champagne. It is a strange request for a dying woman, but Milton springs up instantly. He would buy every vineyard in France if it would make her smile. He rushes into the hallway, issuing orders. 3 minutes later he returns, holding a chilled, fogged glass of sparkling wine. But the room is silent. Her breathing has stopped. The doctors lower their heads. Milton freezes in the doorway. The glass slips from his hand. Crystal shatters against the parquet floor, the sound echoing like a gunshot in a cathedral. Champagne bleeds into the Persian carpet. Catherine Hershey is dead. 150 kilometers away, atop a hill overlooking the town of Hershey, Pennsylvania, stands High Point Mansion. 22 rooms. Limestone walls. Vast windows gazing down at the smoking chimneys of the chocolate factory below. Inside, servants continue polishing silver and buffing floors, preparing for the mistress's return, unaware she will never come home. From this moment on, High Point ceases to be a home. It becomes a mausoleum. Milton Hershey does not scream. He does not weep in public. He simply stands beside his wife's body. In his pocket are tickets for a restorative cruise meant to save her health. They are now worthless scraps of paper. The fairy tale of the Chocolate King does not begin with success. It begins here, on a hotel floor soaked in spilled champagne. This is not a story about wealth. It is a story about a man who tried to build paradise to escape the hell inside himself. And the mansion on the hill will bear silent witness to it all. To understand High Point, we must go backward to 1857. Central Pennsylvania, a muddy rural settlement called Dairy Church. No factories, no electricity, no paved roads, only hard labor, strict religion, and the stern gaze of Mennonite farmers who believed pleasure bordered on sin. Here, on September 13, Milton Snavely Hershey is born. His childhood home is not a refuge, it is a battlefield. On one side stands his mother, Fanny Snavely, disciplined, frugal, practical to the bone. She believes only in land, money, and the Bible. Life to her is endurance and accumulation. On the other side stands his father, Henry Hershey, a restless dreamer, forever chasing the next miracle. He plants orchards but never waits for harvests. He drills for oil when others mine gold. He is a walking lesson in failure. The family moves constantly, fleeing debts and broken promises. From this war, Milton inherits both extremes: his mother's iron discipline and his father's dangerous vision. His education ends in 4th grade. The future titan of American industry can barely write. At 14, his father secures him an apprenticeship at a print shop, dreaming of an intellectual son. Milton hates it. He sabotages the press, is fired, and disgraced. His mother intervenes. She places him with a local confectioner. And there, among vanilla and burnt sugar, Milton finds his language. Candy is not just food, it is joy, universally understood. The road upward is brutal. In 1876, at 19, Milton opens his first candy shop in Philadelphia. He works 16 hours a day. He fails to manage his books. After 6 years, he is bankrupt. He flees west. Denver, Chicago, New Orleans, New York. Failure. At 29, he returns home humiliated. Relatives cross the street to avoid him. Even his mother doubts him. But here, at rock bottom, Milton forms the philosophy that will define his life. Talent does not matter. Luck does not matter. Only getting up one more time than you fall. He borrows his last money. He makes caramel using fresh milk, a technique learned in Denver. He names it the Lancaster Caramel Company. This time, it works. By the early 1890s, Milton Hershey is a millionaire, yet success is not enough. At the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, he sees German chocolate, making machines, and makes a decision that sounds insane. Caramel is a fad. Chocolate is forever. He sells everything to bet on chocolate. And then Catherine Sweeney appears. Kitty is Irish, Catholic, warm, expressive. Everything Milton is not. They marry in secret in 1898. She brings color into his grayscale life. He smiles. He travels. He dreams bigger. In 1900, he sells his caramel empire for $1 million, keeping only the right to make chocolate. He returns to Derry Church. He builds not just a factory but a town. Brick houses, schools, parks, a utopia for workers. And at the highest point, he builds a house for Kitty. High Point, a fortress for two. But as the walls rise, Kitty begins to weaken. Her hands tremble. Her balance falters. The house meant to protect happiness becomes a gilded cage. By 1908, High Point is complete. 22 rooms. Modern electricity. Open spaces filled with light. Designed for laughter that never comes. The nurseries remain empty. The factory thrives. The house falls silent. Milton tries to buy normality with architecture. He fails. In 1909, knowing they will never have children, Milton and Kitty found the Hershey Industrial School for Orphans. If we cannot have our own, Kitty says, then let us care for others. It is love transformed into structure. In 1912, they narrowly avoid sailing on the Titanic. Fate spares Milton, but not Kitty. Her illness worsens. By 1915, they retreat to Philadelphia. And there, the circle closes. After her death, High Point becomes unbearable. Milton preserves her rooms exactly as they were. Roses are replaced daily. Time is frozen. Then, in 1918, he does the unthinkable. He gives away his entire company, worth $60 million, to a trust for orphaned children. Everything. The empire no longer belongs to him. High Point loses its purpose. In 1930, Milton gives the mansion to a country club and keeps only a small apartment. Golfers laugh downstairs. An old man watches from above. Ownership has become a burden. Renunciation becomes freedom. Milton Hershey dies in 1945. On his bedside table is only one photograph. Kitty. Today, High Point still stands. But it no longer houses a family. It houses the Hershey Trust, overseeing billions dedicated to children with no home. A mansion built for love now governs generosity. Milton Hershey understood something few ever do. Money is not a destination. It is fertilizer. Hoard it, and it rots. Scatter it, and it grows a garden. And the roses he planted for Kitty are still in bloom.